Somewhere above San Antonio, Captain 107 banks hard to the left, clears a radio tower by inches and radios back to base. Wingman, remind me, what's a CTAF for again? Wingman 107 buzzes in beside him. That's exactly why we're doing this episode, Captain. If you don't know your air-to-air radio frequencies, your weather rules, and your airspace symbols cold, that written exam is going to eat you alive. Welcome to FAA 107 Boot Camp. If you're studying for your Part 107 exam, this is your squadron. Today, Captain 107 and Wingman 107 are breaking down real-style exam questions, the same kind you'll see on test day, and showing you exactly how to think through them so you're not just guessing under pressure. Before we scramble the jets, hit that subscribe button and join the boot camp. Every episode gets you one step closer to your remote pilot certificate. Alright, Wingman, let's start with a classic. While flying your small UA, you spot a glider drifting into your flight path. Who has the right of way? Wingman 107 pipes up. Easy, Captain. As the drone pilot, you yield. Gliders, balloons, and aircraft in distress always outrank you in the sky. If it doesn't have an engine or it's in trouble, you get out of the way. Captain 107 nods. Remember that hierarchy. Aircraft in distress sit at the very top, followed by balloons, then gliders, then airships and regular airplanes. As a drone pilot, you're basically at the bottom of the food chain up there. Everybody outranks you. When in doubt, yield. Next question. You're reading a sectional chart and you spot a dashed blue line circling an airport. What airspace are you looking at? Wingman 107 zips over to a chart. That dashed blue line is Class Delta airspace, Captain. It's usually found around airports with an operating control tower, but no radar approach control. If you want to fly a drone inside that boundary, you need airspace authorization first. Here's a pro tip. Don't try to memorize every airport by name. Learn the line styles instead. Solid blue is Class Charlie. Dashed blue is Class Delta. Dashed magenta is Class Echo. Learn those patterns and you can identify airspace on any chart they throw at you. Now here's one that trips a lot of students up. What's the minimum visibility required to legally fly your drone? Wingman 107 answers fast. 3 statute miles, Captain, every time. That's right. Even if the test question doesn't mention drones directly and only talks about manned aircraft minimums, if they're asking what you need to legally operate your small UA, the answer is 3 statute miles of visibility. Lock that number in. Let's hit weight limits. A small unmanned aircraft system has to be registered with the FAA if it falls between certain weight limits. Do you remember those numbers, Wingman? Wingman 107 nods. You bet. Any drone weighing more than 0.55 pounds and up to 55 pounds has to be registered. Anything lighter is exempt. Anything heavier isn't covered under Part 107 at all. Captain 107 chimes in. That's an easy question to miss if you're rushing. The FAA loves testing the difference between less than and less than or equal to. 55 pounds exactly is too heavy for a standard Part 107 registration. Read the wording carefully every time. Let's talk about NOTAMs. Say there's a major stadium event happening downtown, and the FAA puts a temporary flight restriction over the venue for game day. How would you find out about that as a pilot? Wingman 107 chimes in. Through a NOTAM, short for Notice to Airmen. It's how the FAA warns pilots about temporary hazards, restricted airspace, and changes to the airspace system. Always check NOTAMs before you fly. Captain 107 adds a reminder. Checking NOTAMs isn't just a test question. It's part of your pre-flight checklist every single time you fly. Alright, Wingman, let's cover weather. On the day of a flight, the temperature and the dew point are within a couple degrees of each other. What should a pilot expect? Wingman 107 grins. Fog, Captain. When the temperature and dew point get close together, the air is nearly saturated and fog is likely to form. Here's the logic behind it. Dew point is the temperature at which air becomes fully saturated with moisture. It can never go higher than the actual air temperature. So when those two numbers get close, that extra moisture has to go somewhere and it shows up as fog. Remember that relationship and you'll nail every dew point question on the exam. One more strategy before we wrap up. When a question asks who's responsible for something, briefing passengers, checking weather, inspecting the aircraft, the answer is almost always the remote pilot in command. That's you. The FAA built this test to reinforce one idea. You are responsible for everything that happens on that flight. And here's a testing trick worth remembering. If an answer choice says all of the above or covers every option listed, that's usually the correct one. It's not a guarantee every single time, but when you're stuck and have no other clue, it's a solid guess. That wraps up today's questions, cadets. Captain 107 and Wingman 107 will be back with a brand new batch of exam questions in the next episode, so keep grinding. If this helped you understand even one tricky question a little better, do us a favor. Hit that like button and drop a comment with the question you want us to break down next. And if you haven't already, head over to FAA 107 Bootcamp and subscribe so you never miss a briefing. Stay sharp, keep studying, and we'll see you in the next flight.